quick. Get my money. Dana, send my money, brother. I'm waiting for that ball and that belt. Well, belt is important for my country.
Hello, welcome to the video. UFC 319 took place last night, and in this video I'm going to be reacting to the whole card. I already reacted to the main event. You can go check that out on my channel. I posted it right after the event last night, so go check that out if you want to see my reaction to the Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis fight. But in this video, I want to be reacting to the entirety of the card because there is much more to discuss, much more to talk about. A lot of finishes, a lot of disappointments, but there's still a lot to talk about. First, I want to talk about the first fight. Idris versus Morales. This was a good fight, I think. I think Idris was like a 4-1 betting favorite, so he obviously dropped the ball. It was a great fight, though. I have some notes. I think the pressure from Morales won him this fight. Idris is obviously a dangerous striker, but yeah, Morales just pressured him in the clinch, got him against the fence. Idris was on bottom. He reverses the position. He's on top of Morales. Morales locks in a triangle choke from the bottom. Taps Idris. And he won, I think, the Contender Series or something. He won one of those like gimmicky type of things. But yeah, great fight. Next fight is Karen Silva versus Dion Barbosa. Can't really remember much from this fight, I'm not gonna lie. But Karen Silva gets the win by decision. Next fight we have Edson Barbosa versus Drakkar Klose. Close in this fight, I think. Every time I watch Edson Barbosa fight, it always plays out the exact same way. Like, he starts off very, like, he looks really good in the first round, and then he just, as soon as the second round starts, I feel like all of his energy is just gone. So obviously Klose took advantage of that. He knew Edson didn't have a gas tank, so landed his right hand could not miss Edson. He was tagging Edson, and I'm surprised Edson didn't get knocked out, because there was a point against the cage in the second round where he landed probably 3 right hands in a row on Edson. I thought that was going to be the end of the fight right there, but Edson survived somehow. But great fight, good on Klose. He probably wishes he could have got that finish, but good win by him. Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. Never understood the hype behind Chase Hooper. If you look at his build, he's just not built like a fighter. He doesn't have the physicality. He might be a good jiu-jitsu guy, but he has a lot of length, so if he leaned into his jiu-jitsu more. But he came out trying to strike with Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez is a very powerful puncher. He slips just outside the jab, just outside the range of the jab. The jab of Hooper grazes the face of Alexander Hernandez in the final seconds of the first round. grazes the face. Hernandez was just out of range. He throws a perfectly timed counter right, knocking Chase Hooper out. Now, if you want my honest opinion, I feel like the ref probably should have let it go and let Hooper survive, because there was only 2 seconds left and Hooper wasn't out completely. And he wasn't really, like, I feel like the fight got stopped too soon, too fast. Because with 2 seconds left, like, let the guy survive. Let him come out in the second round. If he's still wobbly, then you can stop it early. But I think the fight was stopped a little too soon. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think it was stopped a little too soon. Jessica Andrade versus Loopy. I love that name, Loopy. Every time they said it in the broadcast, I was like, hell yeah. Loopy looked very good in the first 2 rounds. Jessica could not reach her. She was throwing bombs, but they weren't landing. Loopy kind of gassed out in the 3rd round, and Jessica started landing more shots, cut her open, caused a lot of damage, but it was too little too late. Loopy dominated the first 2 rounds and won by decision. Gerald Meerschaert versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. And what a dominant performance it was from Mikhail. I'm gonna be honest. Gerald needs to find a new profession. He is just too slow to keep up with these guys. He doesn't move his head. He's very hittable. He has no power. He's slow. He looks strong, but the fight was just not competitive at all. Mikhail, he kind of did whatever he wanted. Every shot that he threw, Oleksiejczuk, every shot that he threw felt like it was gonna land, because Gerald just was not moving his head, and he gets finished. And no surprise. I mean, I saw that finish coming a mile away. I think we all did. Next fight, we have Bessinger Saskayev versus Eric Nolan. Saskurev. I can't say his name. I know there's a lot of hype behind this Bessinger guy. He's Hamza's friend. I think he looked very beatable. I think he came out too cocky. He was smiling, and then he got rocked at the end of the first round, and that smile kind of got wiped off his face there. He went back to his corner looking a little defeated, but to his credit, he bounced back. He kept his composure. He went out there in the second round, and he finished the fight by submission. To his credit. And Eric Nolan, to his credit, he fought a very good fight. He was not scared of this very hyped person. He was not scared at all. So, props to Eric Nolan. Next fight, we got Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Yeah, I guess the levels are different in organizations. Like, this guy was a top fighter in the organization he came from. He comes to the UFC, and all of a sudden he loses 2 straight. He was 21-4 coming in to the UFC. Now he's 21-6. He hasn't won in the UFC since he's gotten here. He's a very dangerous opponent, obviously, but he gets dominated on the ground. He doesn't have much to offer from a ground perspective. He doesn't have very good wrestling. So there's an obvious way to beat this guy, and now the game plan is set. Now everyone that is fighting him in the future knows how to approach. So he needs if Kai wants to make a run for a title again, because he is capable. I think he is capable. He's very dangerous. If he can get some momentum, I think we could see him back into title contention. But he just needs to build that momentum. He needs to work on his wrestling. So Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page, MVP. Entertaining fight first and foremost. Every time I see MVP, I get excited. He's so unorthodox to watch. Like, his style is so unique. He is truly one of one. He comes out in the first round. It just felt like Jared didn't have the speed to be able to catch him. Like, MVP, he was just dancing. He saw every shot coming from Jared. Jared could not reach him. And to Jared's credit, though, he tried to do clinch work, which I thought was smart, but not enough. He was still getting touched whenever they were separated. And I think MVP landed a really good right hand, a straight right on Jared Cannonier in the first round, drops him. You don't see Jared get dropped like that, but I think it was more of like a kind of like momentum kind of pushed him to the ground, not an actual drop. I don't think he was hurt, but it definitely stunned him. Second round, more of the same, just point fighting, just touch, get out, get the space. That's what Michael does really well. He launches himself in, does some damage, and then gets right back to space. And if he does that enough times, and you're not answering back, like, he's gonna win the round. Like, that's why his style's so effective, because like, he can hit you, but you can't hit him, and he just racks up points. He just racks up like punches, and he can triple and double your significant shots landed. He can easily do that against any opponent. So it's very important that you wrestle Michael Venom Page if you ever. His next opponent needs to wrestle. I don't know why Jared thought he was gonna go out there and knock him out. I think if Jared fought the whole fight like he did the third round, he would have won easily, because Michael had no chance of getting back up. He had no chance. Once Jared was on top, Jared's pressure and his strength, Michael just, he's not like this big physical guy, so he's not gonna like overpower Jared. So Jared was kind of just manhandling him on the ground. So if he fought the whole fight like that, I think the outcome would have been much different. But good fight. I'm actually kind of glad MVP won, because it opens up funner fights in the future. So Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal. This was the beginning of the shocking events that happened. Prates is just he's just different. I mean, he smokes cigarettes, he smokes every day, and he goes out there and flatlines Jeff Neal. Like, who does that? No one's flatlined Jeff Neal. What what a perfectly timed spinning back elbow. Prates knocks Jeff Neal out cold. Falls back, head bouncing on the canvas. He's out cold. With a spinning elbow to the side of the head at the very end of round 1. It was like a buzzer beater. Like the clock was going 1 or 2, 1. Oh, he's out. And I feel like Neal kind of wanted to land something big at the end of the round, and he was kind of pressing forward to do that, and that's what opened him up to that elbow. Like if he would have just, because I feel like Prates won that first round. I think Neal was trying to like get something back at the end of the round, and he probably should have just rode it out to the, played it safe and got to the second round and gave himself a chance. But he tried to, press forward, and he ran into an elbow. It happens, it happens. Speaking of it happens, it happened twice in one night, so it does happen. Next fight, we got Lauren Murphy versus Aaron Picio or Picchio. Aaron looked amazing to start the fight. He looked like he was gonna beat Murphy. He looked like he was gonna dominate Murphy. And because his boxing looked so crisp, his grappling was seamless. He looked very good. He looked sharp. But credit to Murphy, he stayed composed. He was making reads the whole time. He was making reads on Aaron's entry. Aaron was like pressing him against the fence, landing big combinations. And there was a knee that almost landed on one of Aaron's entries. So at that moment, I knew Murphy was getting the timing. It almost landed. It landed right on the chest. And it was a heavy knee. If it would have landed on his face, he would have been out cold. But, a minute later, he times a spinning back elbow on an entry and knocks Aaron out cold. Out cold. Worse than Jeff got put out. I mean, Aaron was completely unconscious. Perfectly timed. Murphy, he's next. He's next for Volkanovski. He's next. I mean, that's going to be a good fight right there. That's going to be a real good fight. I think Murphy wins that fight, but I'm not going to make a prediction until the fight is coming up. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. It was a good card. Good card. Main event was slightly disappointing, but it was still crazy to see Hamza dominate like that. And I made a reaction video to that fight right after the main event. So if you want that reaction video, it's on the channel. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.